In front of the church is Holy Trinity Square, named for its Baroque Trinity column erected in 1712–13 as a memorial column to those who died in the plague of 1691. A bronze statue of Stephen I of Hungary, mounted on a horse, erected in 1906, can be seen between the Matthias Church and the Fisherman's Bastion. A viewing terrace built between 1895 and 1902, the white-stone Fisherman's Bastion is a combination of neo-Gothic and neo-Romanesque, full of turrets, projections, parapets, and climbing stairways. The Fisherman's Bastion is made up of 7 towers, each one symbolizing one of the 7 Magyar tribes that came to Hungary in 896. It sits in a neighborhood once known as Fisherman's Town and took its name from the Guild of Fishermen that was responsible for defending the stretch of the city walls in the Middle Ages. An old fish market sat at this location during medieval times. Mike and I also visited Heroes Square, built in 1896 to celebrate the Magyar Millennium. It is a semicircular twin colonnade with statues of Hungary's kings and leaders between its pillars. Set back in its open center, a 118-foot stone column is crowned by a dynamic statue of the Archangel Gabriel. At the base ride 7 bronze horsemen, the Magyar chieftains led by Prince Arpad, whose tribes conquered the land in 896. Before the column is a simple marble slab, the National War Memorial, the nation's altar at which every visiting foreign dignitary lays a ceremonial wreath. Hero Square leads to Budapest's grandest avenue, Andrássy út. For too many years, this broad boulevard bore the name of Avenue of People's Republic, and for a while before that, Stalin Avenue. In 1990, however, it reverted to its old name, honoring Count Gyula Andrássy, a statesman who in 1867 became the first constitutional premier of Hungary. I now conclude the program with a series of video clips so you can join us and experience the sights and sounds of Budapest, Hungary.
Parked their cars there. And now you can see 4 statues. They represent leaders fighting against the Turks. And well, the street itself was named after Count Andrassy. You know, the Prime Minister, I mentioned his name, he was the one in love with Sissi, but he signed a compromise with Austria in 1867. Well, during the communism they changed the names of about 300 streets, so there was a time when this street was called the Stalin Street also. Look to the left, please. A beautiful building with this graffito decoration. That is the Academy of Fine Arts. And the yellow and grey building now to the left, that is the Museum of Franz Liszt, the famous composer. I'm sure that you all know the name of Franz Liszt, don't you? Yes, Liszt. And you can see his profile, and he had an apartment in that building, and that's where he founded the first Academy of Music in Hungary. Well, just to start your language course, please. Liszt means flour, what you use in the kitchen for cooking. And to start your cooking course, sugar is cukor in Hungarian. Perhaps you know George Cukor, the name of Cukor, we pronounce it cukor, and it means sugar. So flour and sugar. But if you come back to this area, you cannot walk nearby without noticing it because of the black frame around the building. It's called the House of Terror because people were terrorized, you know. And the blue color of the building, that is the color of the uniform of the communist police. And today it's a museum. You know, it's a, I think it's a sad place, but it's very interesting if you want to learn something about communism. And this part of the street is the section of the theaters, the nightclubs and the restaurants. So sometimes it is called the Hungarian Broadway. To the right in that street, when we cross the street, to the right you will see the Moulin Rouge, one of the famous nightclubs of Budapest. Same name like in Paris. And next to the Moulin Rouge there is the Operetta Theatre.
Hey,
As we conclude our tour of Budapest, Hungary, I should note that a Hungarian American donated the funds that made possible the National Air and Space Museum located near Dallas Airport in Fairfax County. Stephen Udvarházy, then 12 years old, and his family came to the U.S. in 1958, fleeing Soviet occupation of Hungary. In October of 1999, he donated $60 million to the National Air and Space Museum. The entire gift, the single largest donation in the 153-year history of the Smithsonian, has gone toward construction of the Udvarházy Center that opened in December 2003 on the centennial of the Wright brothers' flight at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The center is now one of the famous tourist attractions that grace our home, Fairfax County, Virginia. It has been a great pleasure to host this first episode on Budapest, Hungary in the series called Travel Tales as part of my program, Fairfax County Stories by Lady Fairfax 2009, Filipino-American Corazon Sandoval Foley. I look forward to sharing with you more stories in this program, perhaps including stories about my grandson, Daniel Patrick Foley, our quarter Asian sensation. Future episodes will include fascinating travel tales about our tours in Europe, along with extremely interesting stories of participants in the Fairfax County Asian American History Project or the Burke West Springfield Senior Center Without Walls. Thank you all very much for joining us in this episode on Budapest, Hungary, as the first of the series I call Travel Tales, in my program, Fairfax County Stories by Lady Fairfax, Filipino-American Corazon Sandoval Foley. Thank you all very much.